Ever wondered how websites are built? Yes, HTML is the secret ingredient. HTML or Hypertext Markup Language is the backbone of the web. It's the language used to structure content on the web and make it presentable. A bare minimal HTML document written within HTML tags. First one is HTML opening tag and last one is HTML closing tags. In between these two tags, we need two essential and common tags. First one is head tag. These head tags contains metadata. That means data about data. This metadata doesn't show in browser, but used by browser and search engines. Although head tag doesn't show any information in browser, but a browser need this head tag, and inside this head tag, a title tag needed for showing browser's title. And after this head tag, body tag placed all the visible contents like text, tables, links, images placed in between this body tag. What is the difference between HTML and HTML5? HTML is predecessor of HTML5. HTML5 introduced some features and improvements like multimedia, graphics, offline capabilities, semantic elements, and some others. HTML is a collection of some tags, elements, and attributes. There is no exact number of HTML tags. The number can fluctuate as new tags are introduced and others become deprecated with each new version of HTML. However, as of HTML5, there is approximately 142 HTML tags. It's important to note that not all of these tags are actively used or recommended for modern web development. Many older tags have been replaced with newer tags. An HTML tag is a particular word or letter, usually comes in pairs, an opening tag and a closing tag. It is the pair of angle bracket. Opening tag indicates the start of an element. For example, p tag. P is the tag name and there is a two sign. One is less than sign and another one is greater than sign. Closing tag indicates the end of an element. For example, again p tag. Here notice before the tag name there is a / added for this closing tag. Attributes. Attributes provide additional information about an element. They are placed within the opening tag. Elements. Everything between opening and closing tag is the element. Here is the graphical example. P is the tags, ID and name is the attributes, and everything between this P tag is elements, including the tags also. HTML is easy to learn and fun to work with. So let's deep dive to the point. What you needed to learn HTML or what is the prerequisite? A computer, a browser should be installed in your computer like Chrome, Edge, Firefox, Safari, or any other. Check your computer. You might have installed any of the browser. A code editor needed. You can choose Microsoft Word or Notepad or any other. I will go for Visual Studio Code. Here is the Visual Studio Code's download link. You can download and install. Category. You can categorize HTML in various ways, but the popular website W3 Schools categorize this HTML in 12 ways. Here is the links you can go through to find out the categories. Here is the categories. First one is basic HTML, then formatting, forms and input, frames, images, audio, video, links, lists, tables, styles and semantics, meta info, and programming. These are the categories that defined by or categorized by W3 Schools. Another way we can categorize the HTML like block level elements. A block level element always starts on a new line, and the browsers automatically add some space before and after the element. A block level element always takes up the full width available. Inline elements. In an inline elements does not start on a new line. It only takes up as much width as necessary. Inline block elements. Major difference with block element with inline block is that it does not add a line break after the element, so the element can sit next to other elements. Heading tags. It's define headings for your HTML document. They are used to structure content and improve readability. There are 6 levels of heading tags from H1 to H6. To show how it looks in our browser, we have to do our practical. So open your VS Code. So here is my VS Code, and I'm going to create a folder in my desktop. You can create anywhere in your computer. I'm giving this name HTML and drag and drop this to your VS Code. Under this folder, create a file. Here I am giving this name example. .html. Every HTML document extension is .html. So here, as we learned, HTML document starts with HTML tags. For browser title, we need head and title tag. Title is title, and after head tag we need body tag. Here we learned there is text headings. Is heading 1, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6. Then save this and open folder with your open this file with your browser. Here you can right click and open or double click. It should open with your browser. So here is the content. First one is heading 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Size is the difference from header 1 to header 6. And here is the title, browser title. This is title. That's it. P or paragraph tag. The P tag in HTML is used to define a paragraph of text. It is a block level element, which means it will start on a new line and take up the full width available. This tag is essential for organizing and presenting textual content in a readable format. Here is the basic syntax. Best practices. Use the P tag to logically separate blocks of the text for better readability. Ensure paragraphs are used to group related sentences together, maintaining a clear structure for your content. We will see it later how it looks in browser. Div tag. The div tag is a versatile and commonly used HTML element for creating divisions or sections within a web page. It is a block level element, meaning it takes up the full width available by default and starts on a new line. The div tag is primarily used for grouping HTML elements to apply CSS styles, layout techniques, and JavaScript functionalities. Here is the basic syntax. So use the div tag primarily for layout purpose and when no other semantic elements is suitable. Use semantic HTML elements like header, main, footer, article, and section when appropriate instead of div to improve the accessibility and SEO of your web page. So let's do some practical. So I have opened my previous file that I have worked. First, we will learn and see how P tags looks. So here is the P tag, opening, then closing tag. So I am taking 2 paragraphs actually. Here I make it 2 paragraph. Save it. Now, if we open in our browser, refresh this, it just 1 paragraph. Now, again your VS Code, and after anywhere close this p tag, again open another p tag, then there is two p tag, 1 2, this is opening closing, this is opening and closing. Now save this and open browser, refresh this. Now you can see that there is a gap. This is the normal behavior. Again open your VS Code. Now I'm taking div tag, opening and closing, then this is div tag. Save this, open your browser, refresh. This is div. Here is the content. Now right click and inspect. Hover over this div tag. Here is the div. Here is, this is div. That is our div. Hover over, you can see a shadow over this div tag in your browser. That means it takes the full width of the parent tag body. Tag nesting. Tag nesting in HTML refers to placing one HTML element within another. The inner tags must close before the outer tags. Here is the basic syntax. Div tag, then p tag, to paragraph tag within div tag. We have learned and see it's in previously, like head tag is nested within HTML tag, or body tag is nested within HTML tag. Further, title tag is nested within head tag. A or anchor tag. The A tag in HTML is used to create hyperlinks, which are clickable elements that can link to other web pages, files, locations within the same page or any other URL. Hyperlinks are fundamental for web navigation and are one of the most important elements in HTML. Here is the basic syntax. Key attributes. We have learned what is attributes. Attributes give some additional information about tags. Href or hypertext reference specifies the URL of the page or resources of the link goes to. Here is the syntax. Then target specifies where to open the link document. It can be 4 types, like self. This is default, opens the link in the same frame. Then blank, opens the link in a new tab or window. Then parent, opens the link in the parent frame. Top, opens the link in the full body of the window. Here is the syntax. Rel specifies the relationship between the current document and the linked document. Common values include no opener, no referrer, and no follow. Here is the syntax. Then title provides additional information about the link, usually displayed as a tooltip when the mouse hovers over the link. Here is the example. Then download indicates the target will be downloaded when the link is clicked. Here is the syntax. Types of links. Absolute URL links to an external site using a full URL. Like this, here is https://www.google.com. Here is the full URL. Relative URL links to a page within the same website using a relative path. Like this. Anchor links to a specific part of the same page using an anchor. Like this. Here is the hash. This is anchor. Email links creates a link that opens the user's email client with a pre-filled email address. Here is mail to, then colon, after this mail address. Now see some examples of links. I have opened my VS Code and opened the file that I working previously. Now after this div tag, a tag, role, anchor tag must has href attribute. This is must. Now I am giving this a full URL, that means absolute links. https://google.com. Save this file and open it with your browser. Refresh this. I zoom this browser for better visibility and readability. This is Google. If I click this, it will take me to the google.com. Here is google.com. Now again open VS Code and I am giving a new attribute, that is target. And there is four types of target. I am giving this blank. What blank should do? Let's see. Save this and open with its browser. Refresh this. Now, if I click, it will open a new window and take me to google.com. Here opened new window. This is google.com. This is my VS Code and the same file. So image or img tag. Remember, this is a self-closing tag. That means it doesn't have a closing tag. It has a must attribute, that is src. I'm pasting an image URL. This URL comes from unsplash.com. This is free. Now alt text is loading lazy title image caption specify the width 500 pixel, height 300. Save this. Open your browser. Here is our previous file. Refresh this. Now this is our image. And if we hover over, you can see image caption. This is title. BR and HR tags. The BR and HR tags in HTML are used for controlling the layout and visual separation of content. They are both empty elements, meaning they do not have closing tags. BR tag or line break. The BR tag is used to insert a line break, moving the following content to a new line. If you want to separate text on different lines within the same paragraph, you would use BR tag. Here is the basic syntax. I have used to break or BR tag in a paragraph. So the output will be like this. HR tag or horizontal rule. The HR tag is used to insert a horizontal line which can be used to separate sections of content visually. To visually separate sections of content, you might use an HR tag. Here is basic syntax. I take a H1 and P tag. After this, HR tag, then again H1 and P tag, and output may look like this. To visually separate, there is a line or a border, that is the HR tag. In your browser, you may find this type of content. Commonly, it's created with list tags. Not all the time, but mostly. List tags. HTML list tags are used to create lists on web pages. There are three types of lists in HTML: OL or ordered list, UL or unordered list, DL or description list. Ordered list displays items in a numbered sequence. Each list item is enclosed in a li tag. Here is the syntax. Ordered list attributes: type. This specifies the type of numbering. Here is 1, capital A, small a, etc. Start specifies the start value of the list. Reversed reverses the numbering order. Here is the basic syntax. So let's see an example. I have opened my VS Code and the same example file that I have worked earlier. Here, after image tag, OL tag, we need nested li tag. So li first item, then second item, third item. Save this file, open with your browser. Here in my browser, this is the list item that shows. Again, open your VS Code. We have learned that there is some attributes. Now type A, then start, free, reversed. Save this and open browser, refresh this. Now you can see the reversed order. That's it for OL list tags. The next list item is unordered list. Displays items with bullet points. Each list item is enclosed in a li tag. It's like ordered list, what we have previously seen. Here is the basic syntax or HTML syntax. Let's see what is the attributes of unordered list. Type can be circle, disk and square. Here is UL type equal to circle. So let's see some example. This is my VS Code and same file. Here I'm going to copy this OL list item, paste, make it 12. Move this type, start and reversed. Save this file, open it with my browser. Here, refresh this. This is list item, that is unordered list. This is the bullet. Again open VS Code, copy this, paste 2 times. Here type equal to circle, next type equal to disk. Save this and open again browser, refresh. So this is the same. That means disk is the default. So here I make it square. Save this, open again, refresh. Now this is square. That is UL or unordered list. Next and the last list item is description list or DL. Displays a list of items and descriptions. Each item or each term is enclosed in a DT tag and each description in a DD tag. Here is the basic syntax. DL, DT, then DD. Okay, let's see an example. Here in my VS Code, you have to start description list with DL tag. So DL tag, then DT tag, description DD, hypertext markup language. Copy, paste for next item. CSS, this is full form is cascading style sheet. And without DT, I'm adding next DD. First test item. Save this file, open with your browser, refresh. Here is the DL list item, how it looks. That is for the list items. List nesting or nested list. Lists can be nested within each other to create hierarchical structures like this. So let's open VS Code and see an example. Here is my VS Code and we have seen many list items. I'm going to copy this OL list, then paste before body closing body tag, and in this third item, before last li tag closing tag, here I'm going to copy paste these list items. So copy and paste. Save this file, open it with your browser, refresh this list. See, here is the list item. Just open again VS Code. Here in the second list item, before closing tag, li closing tag, here I'm going to copy paste this dl list. Paste this, save it, open it with the browser, refresh this. Now this is the how it looks. List tags best practices. Ensure list items are enclosed in a li tags for proper semantics. Use nested lists for hierarchical information. Utilize appropriate list types, ordered, unordered description based on the content. That's it. You might have seen this type of structure in browser. This is actually table tags. The table tag in HTML is used to create tables which organize data into rows and columns. Tables are useful for displaying structured data such as schedules, financial reports, or any information that benefits from a grid layout. Each table consists of rows defined by TR, that means tables row, and each row contains cells which can be either header cells, that is TH, or standard data cells, that is TD. Here is the basic syntax. First one is table, then TR, and TR explained the table row, and then TH, that means table header, pre-header, header 1, header 2, header 3. Then second row, there is TD, data 1, data 2, data 3. So there is 3 rows and there is 3 columns. Here is the graphical information about table header. There is 3 row including header and 3 column like data 1, data 2 and data 3. Key elements, table tag. This is the container for the entire table. HTML syntax is like this: table opening tag and then closing tag. Then TR tag or table row defines a row in the table. Each TR tag contains cells, either it TH or TD. Here is the basic syntax or HTML syntax. th table header defines a header cell in the table. By default, header cells are bold and centered. They are used to define headings for rows and columns. Rows or columns. HTML syntax is like this. For TD or table data defines a standard data cell in the table. This is where the actual data is placed. Here is the HTML. Some additional elements like option provides a title or caption for the table. It is typically displayed above the table. Here is the syntax. Q is head, proves the header content of the table. Here is the syntax. T body groups the body content of the table. That is the data rows. Here is the HTML syntax. T foot groups the footer content of the table, often used for summary rows or totals. Here is the T foot. Attributes of table. There are some attributes of table that are deprecated, like border, cell padding, cell spacing, width, height. It's recommended to use CSS instead. Here is the syntax. So let's see an example or some example. Open your VS Code. I have opened my here. Create a table with a table tag. For table header, you need first head, here, here for table row. One is sales. Head pinning tag to here e body. Here A is to PD. January. $3,000. Row. or February. Six, 3000. Put 1000. File, open browser, spreadsheet. This is showing the tables. Here, for better understanding, I'm using a attribute that is border. So it's deprecated, but I am using it. You know CSS, then avoid this. Use instead of this CSS. Save this. Fresh. Here is the better visibility, better understand. Head. This is centered and bold. This is the body. Okay. Sometimes you may see this type of table. Here name that takes two rows, one and two, and contact info. This take two columns. How can we create this type of table? To do this, we need two attributes that has table. One is row span, another one is col span. You can merge cells across rows and columns using these row span and col span attributes. So how to do this? Let's see. Here table or table header. Then we need page. First one name. Second one is contacting. Here name spanning two rows. So age row span 2 and contact info spanning two columns. So col span. columns. Next, because name spanning two columns, two rows, so next in next row we don't need this name row, we need two column, email and phone. So here id phone. Here is John Doe, Jane Smith. So here is three columns for each row. Example, there is 5 state gain gain gain. For save this, open browser. Here is my content. Now if we refresh this, see like let's fill order 1, save this, when refresh it, now you can see how it looks. Input, text area, label and form. These tags are related to each other. So next is input tag. The input tag in HTML is used to create interactive controls within web forms that allow users to input data. It is one of the most versatile elements in HTML, supporting various types of user inputs such as text, numbers, dates, checkboxes, radio buttons, and more. The input tag is self-closing, meaning it does not have a closing tag. Here is the basic syntax. Common attributes. Type specifies the type of input controls to display. This attribute is required and determines the kind of data the user can enter. This can be various type: text, a single line text input. In browser, it may show like this. Next is password, a single line text input where the characters are masked. It may like this. Email, an input for email addresses with validation for correct email format. It almost look like text editor. Input type text. Next is number, an input for numeric values, often with up down controls like this. In right side you can clearly see up and down button or controls. Next is checkbox. Checkbox look like this, a box that can be checked or unchecked. Next is radio button, a round button that can be selected, usually part of a group where only one button can be selected. That may look like this. Next is submit button, a button that submits the form. This is a simple button. Reset, a button that resets all form fields to their default values. Button, a general button that can be used with JavaScript for custom functions. These three types look alike. Next is date, an input for selecting a date from a date picker. It may look like this. MMDDYY. You can change the format with JavaScript. This is look like this. A drop down or a box will appear if you click on this input box. Next is file, an input for selecting files to upload. This is a general file input. Next is name, specifies the name of input field which is used when submitting form data. Value defines the initial value of the input field. For buttons, it specifies the text displayed on the button. Next is placeholder, provides a hint to user about what to enter in the input field. Required, this specifies that the input field must be filled out before submitting the form. Disabled, disables the input field, preventing user interaction and submission of its value. Read only, it makes the input field read only, meaning the user can view but not modify the value. Max length limits the number of characters that can be entered in the input field. Min and max, these define the minimum and maximum values for inputs of type, number, range, date, etc. Pattern, this specifies a regular expression that input's value must match for validation. Text area tag, the text area tag in HTML is used to create a multi-line text input field where users can enter large amounts of text. Unlike the input type text tag, which is for single line input, text area allows users to write multiple lines of text, making it ideal for comments, description, or messages. Basic syntax is like this. It may looks like in browser this. Attributes of text area. Rows defines the number of visible text lines in the text area. Calls is specify the width of text area in terms of the number of characters. This determines how wide the text area appears on the screen. Wrap controls how text is wrapped in the text area. The value can be soft, hard, or off. Some other attributes like name, ID, placeholder, read-only, disabled, autofocus are also available. Label tag. The label tag in HTML is used to define labels for input elements, which improves the usability and accessibility of web forms. The label text is clickable, and when it is clicked, it moves the focus to the associated input field. This is particularly useful for enhancing the accessibility of forms, especially for users who rely on screen readers. Attributes or label. The most common and essential is for. This for attribute links the label tag to a specific input element by using the ID of the input. When the label is clicked, the cursor will automatically focus on the corresponding input field. Here is the basic syntax. Label for username, and here input type text ID equal to username. In this example, clicking on the username label will focus the cursor on the input element with the ID username. Implicit versus explicit labeling. Explicit labeling uses the for attribute to link the label to a specific input elements by its ID. Here is the basic syntax. Implicit labeling. The label tag is wrapped around the input element, making the association implicit. In this case, the for attribute is not needed. Here is the basic syntax. Input type email is nested within label tag. Form tag. The form tag in HTML is used to create a form for collecting user input. Forms are essential for interactions on the web, allowing users to enter data that can be sent to a server for processing. This can include logging in, signing up, searching, submitting feedback, and more. This is the basic syntax. Key attributes of form. Action specifies the URL to which the form data will be sent when the form is submitted. This is usually a script or a server-side page that processes the form input. Method determines how the form data will be sent to the server. The two most common values are get and post. The get appends the form data to the URL specified in the action attribute as query parameters. This method is used for non-sensitive data, and submitted data is visible in the URL. The post sends the form data in the body of the HTTP request. This method is more secure than get or sensitive data, as the data is not visible in the URL. ENC type specifies the encoding type for the form data when submitting the form using post method. It is important when you are uploading files. This can be application /x -www form URL encoded. It sends the form data in the body of the HTTP request. Multi-part /form data used when the form includes file uploads. Text plain, the form data is sent as plain text, not recommended for most use cases. Target specifies where to display the response that is received after submitting the form. Common values are self, this is default, and this is displays the response in the same frame or window. Underscore blank, this opens the response in a new tab or window. Underscore parent displays the response in the parent frame. Top displays the response in the full body of the window, breaking out of frames. Autocomplete controls whether the browser should enable autocomplete for the form fields. It can be on, enables autocomplete, this is default, and off, disables autocomplete. Now it's time for some examples, practical. Now I am in my VS Code. For this example, I'm going to create a new file under this HTML folder. To create a new file, I'm going to name it example2.html. So we need basic setup, that is HTML tag. In HTML, we need title. So head, we need title. Example 2. Under this, we need body. That's the basic setup. Now let's take a input field or input text. So input type equal to text. Save this file and open this file with browser. Here is the browser and this is the input. Type text, but we don't know what is this for name or apple or sky. So we have to take a label. Open your VS Code again. Here label, let's hit name. Save this and open browser, refresh it. That is the label. But when we click this label, it doesn't focus the cursor on text field. So we need to modify our file. To do this, we need ID, name equal to name. This is not needed for label, but this ID is needed for label. This is for form or JavaScript. So label, we know that label has an attribute that is for, and we have to mention here the input ID. So this is name. Save this and open browser. Here refresh it. Now if we click on this name, it should take my cursor to this input field. Yes, it did. So let's open again. Now email. So input type email, and before this ID equal to email, name equal to email, and label and we know that we can do it like this, and this is email. Save it, open browser, refresh it. So it's working again. This is implicit and this is explicit. Now I need a line break for email. So let's open VS Code again, and here after name input, break, to break or to new line. Let's open this and refresh it. Now looks better. Again open, and after this break, then let's work with radio button. So input type radio, ID equal to male, name equal to gender, value equal to male. And I need a label for this. So label gender and for these input label male, but we need here for attribute and here ID is male. So for is male. Now let's copy this, paste it again. Here input type radio, ID is female, name is gender and value is female, label for female, female. Save it, open with browser, refresh it. Now this is it. If we select this, it will be selected. If we select this, it will be deselected. That is for name. If we make another input type radio and name it the same, then it will a group of 3 radio and we can only select or choose just one. So again here break, now input type file. So input type file, ID file, name file. And label for this upload picture. For ID is file. So save this and open with browser. Refresh. Now this is look like this. And if we click this choose file, it will pop up a window to choose a folder or file. So let's open again VS Code and here copy, paste for new line. Now number type, we have to see a number type. So input type number, then ID, phone, name, phone. Here label, phone. For phone. Save it, open with browser, refresh. Now if I click the character, it will not take any value. But we can deal with numbers. Here is the up and down indicator. So let's open again. Next we will see type date. So input type date and ID is DOB, that means date of birth. Then name DOB and label date of birth. Here for DOB. But before this, need to break for new line. Save this file, open with a browser, refresh. Now initially it looks like this. If we click this button, then it will pop up a new window. Here we can choose date. Now again open VS Code. Again to break. Now label text area. Text area. Text area has some attributes like ID equal to address, name equal to address, it has some special attributes like rows, how many rows it will show, it make it 3, and false make it 25. And before this, the label for address is address. Save it and open with browser, refresh it. Now this is it. We can 25 character and 3 lines. We can here make it smaller, and we can make it smaller and wider. Let's open again VS Code. Now, what is about password type? So here, input type password ID password name password to break. We need a label for password password. Save it, open browser, refresh this. Now if we type, it will show some dots. That is the characteristics of type password. So again open VS Code. Now I'm going to add this content. Here is my body. I need form tag. So form, in between I'm pasting again this content. Now form action. We don't have any file to send. Let's make it just slash action dot HTML. Save it, and we need a method. So method post. Before this, we need a button. So input type, after this password, paste to break, and input type submit, value submit, save it and open with browser, refresh it. Now let's type, don't need. Now I'm going to click in submit button, and please look at this address. So here is the field email. We have to make it like a email. So we need an address at sign, and it looks like an email. So we can make submit. Please enter a number. So this is number. Let's submit. Now you can see this file is taken to action.html that we set in our form action. Let's open again VS Code. We did not see any checkbox, so let's create a checkbox here. Input type checkbox ID SVS name. Here we don't have to specify the same ID with same name. Name and ID should be different. Name, value, news letter. Here label for SVS subscribe. And paste for new line. Save it. Open browser. Here refresh it, and this is the subscribe button. This is the subscribe checkbox. So here we have seen the post method. Now if we make this form action, a form method get, what it will do? Let's make it get and save it. Open with browser. When I click this submit button, please take a look at this address bar. So here name is like name, email is whatever, email, and subscribe and submit. Now look at this. Here what we have filled with this input box, every value is added in this address bar. This is the behavior of get method. Select tag. The select tag in HTML is used to create a drop-down list, allowing users to choose one or more options from a predefined list. This element is commonly used in forms for selecting items such as country names, product quantities, and other similar choices. Here is the basic syntax. Key attributes, multiple. These multiple allows multiple options to be selected. When this attribute is present, users can select more than one option by holding down the Control or Command in Mac key. Size specifies the number of visible options in the drop-down list. This attribute is often used with multiple attribute to create a list box. Key elements used in select. Option defines an option that the user can select. Each option tag element contains the text that will be displayed in the drop-down list. Value, attribute of option. The value that will be sent to the server when the form is submitted. If not specified, the content between the option tags is used as the value. Selected, attribute of option pre-selects an option when the page loads. This makes the option the default choice. Here is the syntax. Drop-down list with grouped options. The opt group tag is used to group related options within a drop-down list, making it easier to categorize and organize options. Here is the basic syntax. Opt group is used to group 4 option value, 2 for popular and 2 for other. So let's do some practice. I have opened my VS Code and this is example2.html file. Before input type submit, here select ID, color. In between this select tag, we need option to show. So option tag, option value, red, then pre-option value, this is green, next is blue, and a label ID color. Choose a color. Save it and open with your browser. Refresh it. And this is it. Choose a color, red, green, and blue. And you can choose any of these. Open again VS Code. Here for better visual testing it. Now in green I am using selected attribute, save it and open this. If we refresh, it shows green value instead of red. Red is number 1, but hence we selected green, then it will show green first. Then you can choose any of option value. HTML provides a wide range of tags that serve different purposes in structuring and presenting content on a web page. Use semantic tags, for example, article tag, section tag, nav tag, header tag, etc. instead of div tag to improve the structure and accessibility of your content. Use text related tags like strong, em, and mark or text emphasizes. The style tag and script tags in HTML are used to add styles and interactivity of a web page. The style tag is used to define internal CSS, that means cascading style sheets, directly within an HTML document. CSS is used for controlling the presentation of a web page, including layout, colors, fonts, spacing, and more. Script tag is used to embed JavaScript within an HTML document. JavaScript is a programming language that allows you to make web page interactive, handle user inputs, create animations, and manipulate the content dynamically. In this video, we have covered some of the essential HTML tags and their use is including text formatting, creating links, embedding images, and working with forms. We have also explored how to structure content using semantic elements and how to make our web pages interactive with forms and inputs. HTML is the foundation of web development, and understanding these tags will give you the building blocks to create more complex and dynamic websites. As you practice, you will see how HTML works hand in hand with CSS and JavaScript to bring your ideas to life on the web. Thank you for watching. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more web development content. Happy coding!